It's a really hard decision because it's not the choice I want to make, but it's also easy because I know I should be putting my health before school.
Oh, you got freezing cold here.
Good Monday morning, everyone. I have started my day. It's being on hold a lot. Mondays are like when all the doctor's offices and insurance companies open, so I always have tons of phone calls to make on Monday. All right, I am off the phone for now. One thing chronic illness has taught me is how to really advocate for myself, especially on the phone, because I'm always calling a bunch of different people to make sure whatever I need gets done properly. Like this morning, I'm calling my insurance company, my doctor's office, and Express Scripts to establish with Express Scripts. It's something TRICARE offers. I'm sure other insurance companies use it too, but basically they home deliver my prescriptions, and if I use them instead of like a local pharmacy, I get discounts on my copays. And then I got to talk to my primary care to write a script for the shower chair the physical therapist recommended. That's going to help me take showers easier and safer. And I'm calling my GI to check up on the GJ tube, and I got to make dentist appointments for Judd and I, which is normal, but I'm like terrified of the dentist. And it's just like a lot of phone calls basically. I still have more phone calls to make, but I'm taking a break because it's lunchtime and people will usually close their offices around lunch anyways. But Harlow has finished her last prepped raw meal today. Did you like that? Anyways, I'm gonna do her prep today for the next week, and Judd is still here. He's sleeping in because he's got a late shift tonight at work, so he's trying to switch his sleep schedule. And my mom is still here. She's getting ready to leave because her birthday is on the 8th and she wants to go to Orlando to see her friends and her sister. So she'll be back in time for IVIG, and I'm planning to take her somewhere really nice for mussels because she loves mussels when she gets back. So anyways, that's my day today. Gotta start Harlow's prep. All right, the kidney and liver is done. Supervisor, obviously. I took a break after I did the kidney and liver and made more phone calls. When I prep, I do a lot of breaks because it's quite exhausting physically. So just go slow, take my time, take as many breaks as I need. So now I'm gonna divide up the meat. All right, this week Harlow has ground beef, a chunk of red meat, which is from a cow, turkey, and chicken breasts. I did have some leftover goat from last week, but after I put all this out, I was like, yeah, that's enough. My mom is off. Have a good birthday.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you too.
Bye, Mom. See you in a few days.
Yes.
Bye, Hippo. So one of the calls I made today was to maintenance because there's a spot on our carpet right here that's just continuously wet. And there's no leaks above it. The fridge isn't leaking. And it turns out the water heater behind the oven, like in the corner there, needs to be replaced. So that's happening today. That's why the oven's pulled out. Maintenance is going to look for a water heater. And while they do that, I gotta try and finish Harlow's prep. Oh my goodness, things became so hectic in this house. I don't know what happened. I had to hurry up and finish the prep because the guys were coming to change the water heater, and then Judd had to like hurry off to work. So sorry I didn't get a chance to put him in the vlog today because he's not getting home till 4 a.m. I'm not gonna stay up that late, and oh my gosh. Now there's housework being done. I don't know, like, it doesn't sound hectic, but in the moment it was like hectic. And I'm trying to move quickly, but I don't move quickly, and I'm stuck to my walker. Like, oh my goodness. But at least Harlow enjoyed herself because she greeted the maintenance workers, and they're gonna work downstairs. I'm up here because they're making some loud noises I'm not a fan of, so now I'm gonna chill up here. Okay, I have finished all my phone calls for today, except for one, which I'll get to later, but this is what we sorted out. Express Scripts to get my prescriptions from them now. I had to call insurance and my doctor and Express Scripts a few times, but I think we got it sorted. I also need 2 medical things, and I wanted to see if insurance would cover it. TRICARE will cover one, which is the new shower chair, so my primary is going to send a script for that to a durable medical equipment company. And of course, whenever I get it, I will show y'all what it looks like, but I'm really looking forward to easier and safer showers. The other thing I need is a medical alert system for my home, and insurance won't cover that, but I think it's worth the money because it's for my safety when I'm here alone especially. And what I like is the home base of this system has a big emergency button that Harlow can push for me if I'm ever unconscious and can't click my own necklace. So if you want to see the one I'm getting, there's a link to it in the description. I didn't make the dental appointment yet because Judd has his dental insurance card and I need that info to make the back-to-back appointments for us I want to do, but I don't like the dentist. It scares me. I mean, I go, but I don't enjoy it, and I'm worried that with all my vomiting I've been doing, my teeth are starting to sustain damage from the acid, but there's really no way to know unless I go, so I will go. And tomorrow I'm gonna call my GI to follow up on the feeding tube formula that I'm not tolerating very well, and to also talk about the GJ button. And now I need to make one more phone call. I do not want to make this phone call. It's to my college, so let's see how I feel after this call. So as y'all may know, this past spring semester, I made the very difficult decision to medically withdraw. It was the first time I'd ever had to medically withdraw. And that's because I spent most of my time in the hospital fighting for my life through those angioedema attacks. And now those seem to be a bit in, I guess I'll call it in remission, or I'm not in a flare. So we have been debating whether or not I should return to school in the fall. And Judd and I have come to the conclusion that it's just not the right time for me yet. I'm still becoming accustomed to my feeding tube. I'm still not tolerating goal rates. We don't know if I'm on the right formula, and I'm starting IVIG, and that has the potential to make you feel just terrible the first few months to the first year. So I've been told. And so I talked to my disability coordinator and my advisor at school, and they said it's best to just focus on me because I don't want to go to school and have to medically withdraw again. And even online classes, you know, when you're like in the hospital fighting for your life, that's not even doable. And I'm the kind of student where I want to give it my best, and I can't give it my best. I cannot give school my best if I am struggling medically. So I won't be going back to school this semester. It's a really hard decision because it's not the choice I want to make, but it's also easy because I know I should be putting my health before school. And a semester is just one semester in the grand scheme of my life. It's just, I feel so defeated. You know, I love schooling and education, and it's just not feasible for me right now. And you know, it sucks. I had my breakdown. I cried into my dog's fur, and I'm just gonna keep doing my best to keep moving forward because I know school will always be there, but my health may not. So that's why I need to focus on it right now. We have also been talking about my future educational goals. I want to be an occupational therapist, but that requires a bachelor's and a master's. And after talking to my medical team and advisors, disability coordinator, and Judd, we think that if I ever were to work full time, it would be detrimental to my health. And so I don't want to spend all the money for a master's to not use that full time. And Judd agrees, you know, so we're putting the master's on hold for now, not saying no totally, but looking at other options. One is an occupational therapy assistant program. It's 2 years, more financially feasible, more options for part-time work, less demanding than a master's, and I would still really enjoy it. But I'm also looking at changing my major from psychology to something else because I really like what I'm doing with the vlogging, video editing, communicating, stuff like that. So maybe a communications major, and perhaps there's a path somewhere for me to make this into some type of career. Who knows? I know there is that whole dream big thing, and I do dream big. I have big goals, but with me and my chronic illnesses, I need to make realistic expectations because if I make impossible goals for myself, then I'm setting myself up for failure and disappointment. So it's about finding a balance, big dreams and realisticness. And it is really disappointing. It sucks, but this is my reality, and I'm just gonna make the best of it and do my best to keep moving forward. Thank you, Harlow, for your cuddles. It helped. And I just wanted to add that if you're doing something different with your life and your chronic illness, your education, whatever it may be, that is totally okay because, you know, we all walk different paths with our chronic illness journey that no one can truly understand except for ourselves. So we may be different, and that's totally fine. I'm just sharing what's going on in my situation, in my little world. And I'm unhappy with the fact that because of my health, going back to school this semester isn't the best idea. That's what makes me unhappy. I'm not unhappy that a master's isn't really the best option, and I'm not unhappy that we're looking at other options like changing my major to communications or maybe doing OTA. that excites me, you know? Just because it's different than my original plan doesn't mean it's worse, you know? I will be happier because my body will be happier, and that just makes everything better. So I'm ready to start new treatments, fight my chronic illnesses, and return to school in the spring. That's my goal, and we'll see where it takes me. Maybe I'll get my master's, maybe I'll do the 2-year OTA program, or maybe I'll get a major in communications and see where that takes me, you know? Like I said, just because it's different doesn't mean it's worse. I'm actually excited. Anyway, deep conversations aside, got that out of my system. Thank you for those of y'all who stuck with me and listened. Let's see how the kitchen looks. It's all back to normal, yay! And I guess they found these coins behind the oven, that's funny. Since my balance isn't too bad today and we've kind of been stuck upstairs in the bedroom all day, I'm gonna do an extra training session with Harlow. Look at that, Harlow. It's time for dinner. You've got all your new meat in there, and blueberries, mango, a quail egg, and her popsicles I made yesterday. Yum. Namaste. Stan. Namaste. Oh my gosh, you're so enthusiastic. Stan. Don't get sassy. Harlow, play. Olay. Okay, you're very smart. Good girl. I have not been able to eat today, which isn't totally uncommon for me, but like I mentioned before, it's important for me to try and do oral intake, but it just wasn't happening today. However, aside from my nausea being a little worse than usual, I've had a pretty good day health-wise. Like, my balance was better, my pain was bearable, and I was able to do some extra training with Harlow, so that's great. But as the night's coming to an end, I'm starting to get a not so nice headache, and my stomach is starting to hurt, even though I haven't eaten anything or really only had a few sips of water. But just gonna be grateful for the good time I had, and I took advantage by training Harlow, and I'm gonna get myself up to bed. You getting comfy? Oh, there you go. Made it into bed. Judd will be getting home at like in the middle of the night, but I don't wake up when he comes home. However, Harlow gets kicked out of his spot when he gets into bed, but she and I can snuggle until then. And my mom called me. She was really concerned because she just realized I'm going to be home alone tonight, and I told her, well, Judd's getting home at like 4, and although it's ideal to have somebody with me at all times, it's not practical, and it's okay for me to be alone for certain periods of time. And that's why we're getting the medical alert system, to give everybody peace of mind when I'm home alone and to increase my safety. So definitely going to be getting that soon. And yeah, I'd say today was a pretty great day. And on Thursday, I have IVIG, so I'm going to get pumped for that. And with that, I will say goodnight, and thanks for joining us on our adventure.